What is going on, guys? Welcome to today's video. We have a very special guest today, Mr. Jordan Duggar. I am super excited for this video because this is something that has never been featured on my channel, and quite frankly, something I don't speak on quite a bit. We're talking about the right reasons and the wrong reasons to use performance-enhancing drugs, steroids, SARMs, whatever you want to call it. Without further ado, let's get into the video.
What's up, guys? Really happy to be here. Excited to talk about this very controversial subject. We just want to draw a lot of clear lines and educate more than anything here. I'm a PED user, and I have been for probably 3 years out of my last 15 years as far as training and nutrition.
So guys, welcome to the video. This is Jordan Duggar, as I shared in the intro. Jordan is a business coach. He is a savage, super educated fitness coach. I learned from Jordan and benefit from his posts over on the IG and also on his Flow State of Mind podcast with his partner, Aaron Diamond. And just an awesome human being. I've been in a couple of networking groups with Jordan and really just benefited from being in his sphere. And he's in LA for a couple days, about to take a nice trip to Cabo, Mexico. Coming off a competition.
Yeah. Just finished a 23-week prep, so kind of right in front of Brian where he's at. I just finished coming out of the dark side. So yeah, we're going to Cabo, and I'm going to get fat is the goal.
I love it, man. And I'm jealous. So dude, I'm grateful for you being willing to do this video. And to be transparent, guys, the way that this kind of came together is Jordan hit me up, was like, hey dude, I'm in LA, let's meet up. And I was like, Jordan's in LA, I'm gonna make some freaking time. We get to the gym and I make a passing comment that I'd love to shoot a YouTube video. And Jordan's super open, just goes, dude, yeah, we can talk about whatever. We can talk about training, we can talk business, we can talk, PED use, natural, unenhanced, enhanced. And I was like, wow, dude, like I appreciate you sharing that, because a lot of individuals, I think, keep this in the closet in the fitness industry. And I think it's a shame, especially when individuals are not honest about it and kind of set false expectations for others. So it's a perfect segue into really the right reasons, I guess, and the wrong reasons to get into using performance-enhancing drugs, steroids, whatever you want to call them, is really what I want to jive on.
Yeah, I think a lot of people who do speak on it openly in the industry, it's almost like, well, duh, obviously, you're on steroids. So they almost have like no way to not be transparent. Somebody like me, I use them in a very liberal and a very conservative, or not liberal, but a conservative way, in a very safe way. I take long breaks, and I do it in a very educated way. So a lot of people, you might look at me and be like, well, he could be enhanced. Now, in my prep, most people would probably assume I am. But in my off
he looks insane. Like, I'll drop photos on the screen so you guys can see it. It's like, he's humble, so he won't brag about it, so I'll have to do it for him.
Sure, but there's a lot of people who have physiques very similar to mine and are enhanced and who aren't open about it, and they think that you have to be some genetic outlier. Brian does have genetic favorability, but he also trains in a very methodical way. I've trained with him many times. You're able to target specific muscles in a way that not many people can. You're very intentional with your training, and you've been consistent now for what, 10 plus years? Yeah. So that's the difference, right? Whereas there are people like me that I don't have the best genetics necessarily, but I do use PEDs, and I do step outside those lines, and that's what I'm going to kind of share with you guys here today, or when and how should be the best approaches.
Yeah. So Jordan, and thank you for that. I very insightful. So making a decision to use PEDs, when do you think it's the right time?
Yeah, I always tell people that if you're going to use gear, and we're talking specifically, let's just talk AAS, anabolic androgenic steroids. It's got to come from a place that you're trying to take a good physique to great, in my opinion. You can start early. Maybe you've been training 2 years. You've never been super intentional. You've lifted weights. You've got those beginner gains out of the way. You can start using them, sure, but you're going to reach a point to where your body doesn't respond to them in the same way as they do in the beginning, just like when you're training. So the best way, in my opinion, is if you do decide, okay, one day I'm going to be enhanced, train for 10 years. And maximize your genetic potential to a point which it slows down, right? You and I both hit that point where we just can't gain muscle very fast.
Yeah.
I mean, it takes us, like, if you as a natural athlete and you're intentional with the growth phase through a year, you might put on 5 pounds of muscle.
Right.
That's a lot.
That's a lot, yeah.
Honestly, that's a lot. Maybe 3, So why not wait until your physique is really, really good, as a natural? Like, you've trained 10 years, and then you put that in, and you can go to great. And when you want to go to great, if you want to go to great, what are your intentions there? What are your goals? Do you want to be a pro-level bodybuilder? I think if that's the case, you want to compete in the NPC, the IFBB, sure, they're going to have to be an option. But are you just recreational? Do you want to create a brand? Are you going to be open about it? There are all these questions that you have to ask, because the very first time you place an intramuscular needle in your body, you're never going to go back. You're never going to be the same. You're never going to be happy with your level of progression at that point. So it's a very thin line that you cross when you do that. Don't think, oh, I'm just going to do one cycle of testosterone and that's going to be it. I guarantee it's not.
Yeah. Dude, I'm so grateful for your openness and transparency there. And now that I think about it for myself, you know, I come from a family of addiction, alcoholism, drugs, and I do see tendencies of myself being an addict showing up in my life. And I think that is one of the main things that has had me kind of shy away from anabolic steroid use is I know that I would love the effects of it so much, and feeling that strength and that just unnatural ability. And I can imagine, man, coming off is even if you have this amazing looking physique and you're getting showered with praise, you know, I was praising you at the gym and you were grateful but also brushing it off. I can also see how it can be like, well, I'm great now, but it's nothing to compare to when I was at the peak of my cycle.
Yeah, so I'm off now, and I'm on I use TRT in my off periods, and I'll take a year off where I'm just on a TRT dose. So basically what that means is you're still using testosterone, but you're using it in a dose that's physiologically normal. So I'd be on the higher end of normal, right?
Okay.
And if you're gonna do that, you're not gonna experience really any significant gains. You're just at a healthy end of normal. So that's what I do when I come off, but that's where I'm at now. So yeah, here's the thing. When you do come off, you better expect some ramifications psychologically. And if you're not able to handle that, never start. And here's where I think you're able to handle it, or how. It's being more educated. See, if you understand how these compounds work, you understand the detriment to your body and your potential longevity. I know how not smart it is to come off, go right back on, to not give your body a really, really good break, to not use a ton of health support supplements, inflammation, liver support, kidney support. If you don't know how these compounds work, you're not going to be inclined to do so, and you're going to take years off your life.
Mm-hmm. Thank you, Jordan. So for context, when did you start weight training?
So I started weight training at about 15. My family owned a gym. It was kind of all around me. So I started training seriously at about 15. That's when from 15 to 17, I had my newbie gains.
Okay, yeah. Newbie gains. And when did you start getting serious about, kind of like what you highlighted, like my physique has kind of hit maybe a plateau, or it's very noticeable that the results are not showing up as quickly.
Yeah.
I'm going to transition into enhancing. When did that time frame come?
So my kind of lineage, or my period or journey, if you will, went from, so 15 to about 21. I did what most people do. I wasn't really intentional with nutrition. You know, you train hard, you need to eat a lot of protein.
Yeah.
Started tracking macros at about 23. Between 23 and 25, I had a lot more improvements when you actually dial things in. That's when I did my first show, was around that age. And then that's when I realized, okay, I've been able to accomplish a lot of these things naturally. Like, I'm curious. You know, I had that inclination. A lot of my friends were using it, but I've also been a very health conscious person. So I just started reading. Okay, so there's a resource you might even, I don't know if you want to do this, but you could share it with your audience. It's Llewellyn, Dr. Llewellyn, and he has a book called Anabolics, the first edition.
I'll link it in the description, guys.
First book I ever read on it, and it's very credible. You know, everything is cited. It has research. It has really how these compounds work on a physiological level, and how your endocrine system works, your HPT axis, like your hypothalamus, and how your pituitary gland, like how all these things are connected. So when you understand it on that kind of level and you start reading about it, it can scare you because you realize how dangerous it can be. But it also will put things into context, and you'll be responsible. So to answer your question, from 25 to about 26 and a half, I just read on it. You know,
okay.
In my evenings, I would study it. I would go on forums. Watch out going on forums, first of all. That can be your first biggest mistake.
Bodybuilder.com forums.
Oh God, you know, there are Reddit forums where you can go on there and everything is wrong. And it's dangerous because people will say what they do at these dosages, and then kids will be like, well, I should just do the same thing.
Yeah.
Man, bad.
Yeah, thank you, Jordan. I appreciate that. So guys, one of the take home, and we're gonna wrap up here in 2-3 minutes, but pay attention to this. You know, Jordan said he started training around 15, and probably started, I would guess, training smart from 15 to 17 because he was in that atmosphere. And then literally 10 years passed, and then from that point he started considering using enhancement, and then took another year to year and a half to literally educate himself before he even stepped into that realm. And guys, that prior 10 years before stepping in, he was working extremely hard in the gym, training. He was eating well. I've been around Jordan many times. Eats extremely well, extremely health conscious. Guys, that's a big take home word from the video too, is there's this common misconception that, you do steroids? As soon as you do an injection, you don't have to train hard or eat well, and you're just gonna turn into the Hulk.
Yeah, steroid use is so common, right? And it's common, but there aren't many great physiques out there. If you go into a normal gym, especially out here in LA, man, a lot of the guys are using gear. A lot of them are, but none of them really look that great. You know, they're ruining their health because here's the thing: if they're using gear, but they're also not dialing in nutrition and training, they're probably not paying attention at all to their health support, to doing things in the right way. So here's the thing: like if you're going to do it, have things dialed in. Not only from a nutrition and training standpoint, but from a health support and from an actual coming off standpoint. When you come off steroids, if you don't have a plan, just like when you come out of a diet, if you don't have a plan, you can wreck all the progress you made and take years off your life. Like, you've got to have a plan on how to come off normally.
Thank you. Dude, Jordan, I'm so grateful that you were willing to have this conversation. As you guys can see, while here, Jordan is extremely well spoken. He knows his stuff, and you've got to follow his stuff on social. I'll link it right here, also in the description. Extremely valuable information, mindset, business, if you're looking to get into online business yourself in the fitness side, competition prep, lifestyle prep for enhanced and non-enhanced athletes. I would imagine the majority of your clients probably aren't enhanced.
Yeah.
And
sure.
And guys, he's got a great podcast too called the Flow State of Mind podcast with his partner Aaron. So guys, crazy enough, the memory card filled up and the clip ended right towards the end. Thank God it didn't end right when we started recording that clip. Hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Again, Jordan, as you can tell, is extremely intelligent, extremely well-spoken, and speaks very openly and candidly. And I'm just grateful to have Jordan in my network. So guys, connect with him. I've dropped the links and everything in the description. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I will go ahead and see you in the next one. Don't forget to like, subscribe, all the things. Peace.